Hey everyone!
What's up? What's up?
Welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are all doing good. So today we're going to be talking about stagnation. And some of you guys might be asking like, what the heck is stagnation? What is stagnation?
Yeah.
So I'm going to define it first. It just basically means when we put it in plain terms, it's something that we all go through. So we're just going to talk about like what it is, periods of our lives that we've gone through where we felt like stagnant and things we've done to help us overcome it. So what is stagnation? Stagnation is a state of not flowing or moving. So it's a lack of activity, growth, or development. Have you guys ever felt like, you just feel stuck? You feel like, what am I even doing with my life? Like, what's happening next? Where are we going? What's going on? Like, you're just a bit like lost sometimes. You don't really know, okay, what's happening next? Where are we going next kind of situation. That's what stagnation is.
Like another way to put it is kind of like, basically if someone new basically was to come and meet you for like 2 or 3 days, they will know your day from today to 10 years time. You're so stagnant in that area that they kind of know everything about you. Nothing's new, nothing's changing. You're not going up, you're not coming down. You're not going anywhere. It's just the same.
Yeah. So you're not growing, you're not developing, you're not changing. And sometimes when we're in those periods of our lives, we feel like, what am I supposed to do next? Like, how am I supposed to move on from this? And so I guess today we just want to discuss it, give our insights, give our input, and hopefully it's helpful for someone out there who might be feeling a little bit stagnant or a little bit like, how do I overcome this stage of my life? The verse that we want to base it on today is John chapter 15 verse 1 to 2. So it says that I am the true vine and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit he prunes so that it will be even more fruitful. So this verse, obviously, in the context of it, when we read the whole chapter of it, it basically talks about how God is our gardener, right? He's the one that tends us, he looks after us. And whenever we're not producing any fruit or we're stagnant, he's the one that prunes and cuts so that we're able to produce fruit or we're able to, grow, develop, and move on from that stagnant period of our lives. And when I was reading this verse, actually, I had a very interesting analogy come to me about a plant. So if you guys can see in the corner there, we have our little plant. I've had a few other plants in the house.
And what happened?
And let's just say some of them have not survived. Let's just say some of them, they ended up outside and being destroyed. So, okay, let me just get to that analogy. So, this plant, right, it needs us to water it. It needs us to put it in a location or an environment that will allow it to flourish. And it also needs us to prune it. So, I realized that sometimes I'll leave this plant for days without putting water in it. And then when I look at it, I'm like, okay, like, why is it looking dry? Why is it, like, it's not growing, it's just staying in the same spot. There's no, these plants are supposed to flower. They're supposed to have, like, a flower come out of it. There was, but there barely ever is any flowers, right? But one thing about me is I don't like it to go, like, brown. When it goes brown, I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing a bad job. But anyway, so, watering it, pruning it, and then putting it in an environment that will allow it to grow. And when we neglect these things, we can see the results. We see that, they begin to go, you guys can't see like the outside of it, but one of the leaves is starting to go brown and dry, And so, this analogy really taught me that when we don't water, when we don't prune, when we don't place, the plant in an environment that will allow it to grow, it cannot grow. It stays stagnant. It stays in the same spot. It does not produce any fruits. It does not produce anything that we're desiring for it to produce, like a flower. I want it to flower, right? No flowers coming through because I'm not looking after it. So yes, I just wanted to start off with that.
Yeah.
And then you can come in and give us some
basically for that verse is pretty good because like if you think about it, a fruit tree is meant to bear fruits.
Yeah.
You know? And being stagnant is being in an area that is not producing any fruit.
Yeah.
And it's just staying like that.
Yeah.
It's not producing. The aim of a fruit tree is to bear fruits.
Yeah.
You know, if you see it's not bearing fruit and you're not pruning it or you're not trying to find out why it's not bearing fruit, it's going to stay like that.
Yeah.
So, same way that God is pruning the tree, the fruit tree to make it bear fruit, He's our gardener. You be the gardener of your goals as well.
Yeah.
You be the gardener of your life, of your situation, whatever you're going through, you be the gardener of that as well.
100%. Have you been in like situations in your life where like you feel like you've just been stagnant, like you're not moving forward, you're not going anywhere, just in general?
Yes, I'll give one scenario. Like for me, when it came to knowing where my life is going or why I'm here or anything to do with what I'm created for, I was stagnant. I didn't know what I'm here for. Like the scenario I gave before about someone coming and seeing me, all my friends, if you were to ask them back then, or how is Ben going to be next week, or what's going to happen to Ben from Monday to Monday in a month's time, they'll be able to tell you everything, nothing else that will be different. I come from work, I do this, I do that, all of that. So it got to an area that I'm like, I don't like this. I don't know what I'm here for. I don't know how this is going out. I don't want people, it got to an area I'm like, I don't want people to know like what I'm going to do tomorrow, or what if someone, it came like, what if someone tried to assassinate me? They'll know tomorrow I'm going to work, let's meet Ben there, assassinate me. So all that may be a joke, but that's kind of how I thought about it. And then I went to God and I was like, it's a testimony as well. This is how I kind of got to have a relationship and came to Christ. It came to an area I was like, God, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what you created me for. I don't know how my life is going to end up in a few years. I want change. I want something different. I want to know who I am, basically. Who am I? Who is Ben? And then after that, God gave me things to do, or He pointed me towards direction without me even knowing, and I took those steps. I went to churches, I went to youth camps when He directed me. I went to different friends from the ones I used to hang with when He directed me. And then I started seeing change. But if I never took those steps, I would have never got the change that I was looking for. If I stay with my old friends, hang with my old friends, do the same thing I used to do, nothing would have happened. Now I know who I am. I know where I'm heading. What about you?
Yeah, so I think just in general in life, like throughout life, I go through periods of like stagnation. So there are times where you just feel like, okay, what's next? I'm not going anywhere. I don't see like, am I developing? Am I growing? Do I feel like I'm achieving new heights? Am I doing different things? So there are different times in my life where I felt like I'm stuck. I don't know where I'm going. What am I doing next? And sometimes when you get like those feelings, it's not for no reason. It's because sometimes God wants to push you from where you are to somewhere else. When you realize that, oh my God, like the plant is not growing. The plant is just stuck. It's staying in the same place. It's not even like it's starting to go dry. It's not being watered. You're not watering and you're not putting in the things that you're supposed to be putting in to it. You think, okay, there's a reason why, and I need to begin to water. I need to begin to prune. I need to begin to put it in the right environment. So I think obviously, like I said, I'm just doing it in general because there's many times in my life where I've been through situations where I'm like, okay, I feel like I need to do better. Like I always tell you, like for example, with my health, like oh my God, like I'm not even working out. Why am I not working out? And so maybe this is why I'm always tired, or this is why I'm always like why is my I always feel weak, So then I need to start working out more. I need to start putting myself in an environment where I will be able to feel more healthy. So there's so many different situations for me. Like I don't even have one; I have so many. So that's why I'm talking just in general terms. So moving on to the next question: when we do go through like those periods of stagnation, like what things do we do? What things help us to overcome? Like that stagnation period.
I kind of wrote down a few things for you guys that it's helped me in a way. That step one, basically, you touched on it before, like realizing that you're not alone, realizing that you're not the only one going through that.
Yeah.
You're realizing that a lot of people, like you said, you go through a lot of different periods that you go through those stuff. A lot of people go through it, realizing that, so this happens to everyone, but also understanding that I know that it happens to people, but I have to now work towards doing something about it. Step two, basically find what inspires you. Another way of putting it is like setting a goal for yourself. Setting a goal, what inspires you? Like, for example, if you're someone that stays home all the time and you don't go out much, but soccer inspires you, you love watching soccer, but you want to get out more, go to a park with some friends and kick a soccer ball around, or it will start off like that, and then before you know it, you'll start leading towards other things. If you're someone that basically you're so stagnant on social media, you don't know how to get out of that. Maybe be like, okay, 1 hour a day, I'm not going to touch my phone. I'm just going to put my phone down, just going to chill. That will help you to overcome that. Like all the stuff that you're going through, like find something that you're passionate about and then focus on that. Step three, giving yourself a break. This one goes for people that we have alcoholics, but we have workaholics as well. So people that love to work so much, every day of their life, they've been working since they were young till now. Don't get me wrong, working is not a bad thing, but when you're so stagnant in it that nothing else in your life is like big, you don't see anything else, all you think about is work. You come home, you're thinking about work, you're thinking about tomorrow, you're going to work and all of that. Give yourself a break. When was the last time that you thought, I'm going to take 3 months off? I'm going to take 1 year off work, or 6 months, or even a week off work, or even a day. Even calling in sick, it's a big thing for you sometimes. Even when you're sick, you're like, I still have to go to work. When you're not at work, you feel like there's something wrong. It's not bad to take time off for yourself, which sometimes is really good. And that's the four in the area of relationships, change your routines, try different things. In a relationship, sometimes people get bored because they're so stagnant in one area. She knows I love her. He knows I love him. So we don't really have to do much. We do the same thing every day, day in, day out. It doesn't have to be intimate or doing things at home, but like the way I think about it is like write just random things on a piece of paper, put it in a box, and be like, okay, babe, date night. Pick one out and go do whatever it is. It doesn't matter what you pick, don't change it. Just go do whatever it is. Change your routine. Do something completely that you normally don't do. Because if you do that, it opens up your eyes to be like, oh, wait, I've been so stuck in this area that there's so many more I could be doing. So the more that you do that, you start to realize that there's much more in you that you haven't actually explored. So, and then the last step that I have is, we talked about it before, is for people that set goals. You might set a goal that is really big, or a goal, it might be really small to others, but it's really big to you. But fear comes in so much that you're like, how am I going to get to this goal? Or I don't know how to do it, or this and that. All these thoughts come in your head. But all you have to do is take a step. It doesn't have to be something big. Just take a step. For a good example, my example that I always give is like, I wanted to have a house when I was like 25 or 27. 27. I wanted to get married and then this and that, and then have a house by that age. But then it was so hard. I saw it like a big goal, even though it's big, but there's steps that you can go about it. I was about 18 or 16 when I thought about that. And then I was like, how am I going to go about it? And I started off by, it might not be big to you, but it was big to me at the time. I'm like, I'm going to pull away $5 every time I get paid. And then people used to laugh at me. And then the following week, I'm like, I have more money left over. I'll put $10. And then it went on, and then I went up. It went to like $1,000. By the time me and my wife got married, we had the money. We had the money to get our house and to get all of that. But if I didn't take that step, of just a small step like $5 when everyone was laughing at me, I would have never got there. And don't get me wrong, there's people like you'll be taking that $5 and some people are putting in $2,000 or $5,000 and you'll be like, oh, don't let it discourage you. A step is what matters. See, I started with $5 and then I went to 10 and then I went to 20 and then 30 and then I went to $1,000. So the main aim is like a baby. A baby, when it's first born, doesn't know how to walk or anything. First step is learning how to crawl. They can't just get up and start running. As soon as they do that, they will fall and be scared. So when you have that goal, just take a step at a time. Make a small step. Don't go all the way up here, because when you fall, it will hurt and you'll be like, maybe this is not for me. Those are 5 steps that help me to overcome some.
So, yeah, like obviously he's listed quite a few, some really good practical steps to take to be able to, overcome stagnation. And I think like he's pretty much said most of it.
Yeah.
But like I said, at the end of the day, when it all comes down to it, we can try the different ones, but we just take what works best for us.
Yeah.
And if we try any of it and they don't work, we always have to go back to remembering that, who is the source? Who is the source? Who is the person that actually looks after me? And like I said, like we said at the very start with that verse, that God is our gardener. He's the one that, at the end of the day, is the one that tends to us. He looks after us. He looks after our hearts. He looks after our minds. Even though we may not know about it, he still does. Even though some of us might not believe it, he still does. And so always remembering to go back to the source and remembering that we can't bear fruit, we can't produce fruit on our own. And sometimes we feel stuck because we need to actually go back to the source, and so I think all I can really say, like Ben has listed really good ones already, so I don't even have many to say. I already follow a lot of the stuff that he says as well. So all I can say is just right back to that same analogy. We have to remember to always, water ourselves. And when I say watering, I mean, putting in the things that we know we need. Like let's say, for example, reading our word, listening to the things that are helpful for us, maybe listening to podcasts or listening to any information that you need, reading up about things that you need in your life, watching videos about things that you need in your life, and then pruning, so getting rid of things that we know that are not beneficial for us.
Definitely.
So cutting things out. Maybe you feel like I said before, the health example, I'm so weak, I feel so tired all the time, why am I? Maybe you need to start eating better, start eating healthy, cut out more of the junk food that you're always eating, start eating more like lighter foods, more veggies, more fruits, things that are going to give you more energy, right? And then lastly, putting ourselves in the environment that we know that we need to be in. So, for example, if you don't put that plant in an environment that it needs to go. If you put too much sun in it, like I said, one time we put one of the plants out and it died because there was too much sun. If we put ourselves in environments that we know are not beneficial for us, we're not going to grow. We're going to stay stagnant. If we're hanging around with people who are not helping us, who are not adding to our lives, we're not going to grow. So don't get me wrong. Sometimes we have to be around people who might not help us, but because we're also there to be a blessing to them. But it's not every day, and it's not every time you're putting yourself around people who are not adding to your life, because we know like in that last video that we did last time, we talked about how when we're around bad character, it misleads us as well. So really, like that's all I can really add to it, just because in general, like I always, when I came to you guys before about my periods of stagnation, it's been a general sense in many different areas. So really just being able to apply, I guess, some of those principles that both Ben and I have listed out and have spoken about, and hopefully it will help us to come out of that stagnation, come out of that just stillness and lack of growth.
Definitely. And one thing I wanted to add, you've already said it, but guys, you can try everything that I've said and try everything that Harry has said. That's listening to us. But if you were to go to God first and be like, Father, what do you want me to do? Or this area, I'm stuck here, I don't know what to do. Can you point me towards the right direction? It will happen straight away. Yeah,
guys, so that's basically everything we wanted to talk about. Hopefully it was, insightful. Hopefully if you guys are going through any periods of stagnation, you guys will be able to use some of the stuff we've talked about and be able to just like walk freely, develop, grow, and become all that you were made to be. So thank you guys so much for watching and listening.
And guys, once again, we're always here to help, you know.
Yeah.
We always want to share things that could help everyone. So if you have anything, comment below, and it will help us as well to know what to talk to you guys about.
Yes.
And don't forget, this is not the only stream we have. Go on Instagram, on my wife's Heart to Heart with Harriet.
Yeah.
She shares some awesome things on there, guys. It will help you a lot as well. The same way that we help you on here, you might just read it for a second. It helps you a lot as well. So go and follow that page as well. And we'll be back next time. Thank you.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, and if you like the video as well and you feel like it'll be informative, share it with someone that might need it. And hopefully it will be helpful and a blessing to them as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.